Chat's not working, but the microphone is. Chat. Okay. You should be able to hear me now, Layla. Hey, Third, welcome. Hey, drive safe. It's good to see you. Brenda Childers, what does that mean? No hood up. I don't know what that means. Hi, Darylise. Give it a couple minutes for people to come in, flow in, and then we'll begin. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. And man, I had some trouble with the sound, and there's just so many things you have to mess around with when you're trying to, get your studio up and running. So, see, there's 15 people right now. So, welcome to the studio. Welcome back. And I saw you were under the hood fixing a car. That was a long time ago. Wonder what car was I fixing? Oh yeah. I was just clearing out the throttle body. It's a nice job. It's nice and easy to do. Anyone can do it if you're just careful. So, 15 people, we might as well get going. Once again, thank you for showing up. Welcome to the studio. And I am Party Bonza. You can pronounce that any way you like. Usually it's like Partey Bonza. Sometimes it's Partei Bonza. But it's a German word. It means party boss. And not sure why I picked that. It was just something I decided years and years ago. I started my YouTube channel back in 2007, and I've had a lot of videos over the years. One of them even went viral. So I'm getting up there. Pretty soon I'll be up there to 1 million views here, coming up pretty soon. The convoy helped bump me up a little bit, and I haven't streamed a lot. I streamed a couple of days at the 1776 Restoration Movement, and I'm real glad I went, and it was a really good experience, and I'm glad I met everybody there, and I am a member of 1776 RM.
Hey, thank you.
I am doing my part to try to educate myself and educate everybody that I know about the movement and what we're trying to do, the necessity for what we're trying to do, and some of the solutions and what we can do. For those of you who haven't seen me in a while, I actually lived in Los Angeles. I moved away from there, and I'm in Pensacola, Florida right now. And it's not that I love it, but I definitely am a lot happier here than where I was in LA. And LA just really changed after pandemic. It just took a turn from the worst. I suppose it had been getting bad and worse over the years when I was down there, and I didn't mind it too much because I just thought I'd never leave. Thought I'd always be able to deal with it. And then once pandemic hit, things just drastically changed. I changed. I turned from somebody who, kind of gets along with, having all those people around me, and then, being in isolation for quite some time, and then working from home for almost 2 years. And then I realized that I really don't like it here. And so I actually had a really good job prospect here something that would have been a success, and it was a business opportunity, and I took it. There was risk. There's a chance it wouldn't work, but I did it anyway. And then I worked that for a couple of months, and then it turned out that didn't work out. So I didn't intend for it to fail, but it just didn't work. I think I mentioned this before in my last live. So I'm here and I'm working, and I've got a lot more time for my projects, and this is another one of my projects. Apologize to everybody. I said I was going to go live like last week and work on this Tiermaker Tiermaker game with you guys, and I just haven't had time to do it. But I've got some time today. Let me just look at the chat. Yeah, it's December 18th live from the past. Yeah. I don't know why it says live from December 18th. That's weird. Yeah, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. 18 people joining. 8 thumbs up. Prospecting. Oh, that's good. Dan Hearn prospecting. 1 million subs, man. That's a lot. He was with Bryant coming. Yeah, 1776. He was a good man. And, yeah, Layla. Fellow member. Third's a member too. So, today, let me show you what I've done. If you've ever heard of Tiermaker, I think I showed you in the last stream. It's just a fun little, like, passage of time that you can do. If you want to rate things, like, you can go through, like the one I did last time I was hanging out with my friends at work. What did we do? We did fast food, I think. Oh, that's Canadian fast food, sorry. Food and drinks. There it is. So you can sit there and you can look down at all the fast food restaurants and rate them, you know, Baskin Robbins. For some reason, the people I was with, they were all about Arby's. And I wasn't having it. I was like, no. You can't have that up there. The only ones I really like, I guess, is like Sonic and Jersey Mike's, Five Guys. Where's the In-N-Out? Gotta have the In-N-Out. It's not in this game. Oh, there it is. Yeah. In-N-Out. S. Perfect, gorgeous, beautiful. Actually, S is like superstar level. A, you know, obviously A, B, C, and D. You know, F and blah, blah, blah. You want to go down the line. Now, one thing you can also do with this is you can also do an alignment chart. And what you can do is, see, this hasn't been pre-configured, because sometimes you can do a rating and then rate them on a graph, see, and then you can write, you know, like value delicious, right? And then you can, you know, rate these up here, and it's a much more robust graphing system, you know, and you can put things really down, you know, which are basically terrible, and and then, or some places really expensive, right? It's delicious but terrible in value, right? And then you can save it, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Twitter. And that's what I'm trying to do with the live streamers. And so that's why, going back to mine, I titled it Convoy Streamers USA. And obviously it's different than Canada's. There's a Canada live streamer too. There's already a Canada one in there. So that's why this one I differentiated it with USA. My chat suddenly stopped working. Did I freeze? Yo. Am I still on? Come on back. Okay. Thank you, Leela. So what do you guys think? Is it worth going through and looking at? I got to tell you, it's a lot of work. I've been working on this when I have time, along with my other projects. And what was it? Get over here. Where's my convoy? Pick streamers. Okay. So trying to figure out the PNGs or the JPEGs for the individual streamers. That's kind of like the tough part, where it's the nuts and bolts that you have to do in order to make something work. And as I was frustrated and struggling with the audio on my Prism app, and it made me realize what I've come to realize more and more in the past couple of months, how much work is entailed when you're running a project, right? It's just beyond the actual envisioning a project. And oh man, I'm not receiving it. It does this from time to time. Crap. It says that I dropped. Am I dropping frames? It doesn't say. Oh yeah, 7.6% frame drop. Where is my... hang on a second. I do have a monitor here. I got my laptop. Let me just run on my laptop and... Let me just tap something here. Hello, test. Okay, so apparently it is working, and I'll continue what I was saying. See, you're sitting there watching Prism, and then it gives you like status things, and it gives you error messages, like it said, "We're not receiving data from YouTube. You might be offline." And yeah, see, I am. Okay, it's just delayed. All right. Moving on. Anyways, thanks, Layla. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just kind of nuts that the amount of work that actually goes into actually fulfilling a project and moving it forward and getting it done. And I need more time in order to figure out all of these little PNGs. Like I got Freedom Squirrel and Brant for Liberty, but I had this Excel spreadsheet all up, and God, I hate it when it opens over there instead. Where's my convoy tier list? Okay, boring spreadsheets, right? And we got all of the list of live streamers and the screenshots taken and then cropped in the folder. So I already have Brant for Liberty, Beta Boys, Freedom Squirrel, Oreo Express, Jalen 5150, Jersey J, The Golden Chariot, Trucker G, GWT 333, OTR Survival, Today with Julius, Black Conservative Preacher, Glory B, and then I have to like list a whole lot more. If you guys can list out a bunch more for me, and then look at that last posting on the community page where I talked about this. And if you see any more live streamers that I'm missing out on, write them in there, because I think I got most of those that were in that list but I'm looking to make it, a full list, and I can still edit it from time to time. But what I'll do is, I think when I get the all the little thumbnails up and labeled, and then I'll roll out this game, and you can actually probably find it already because it is live. It's just in editing. It's just editable by me, so I can edit this thing all day long. It's in a category called YouTube and streaming, convoy streamers. I had something all written out, and then it lost it because for some reason it wouldn't submit it. And then I can label the default rows. I've got Taco Joe in the thumbnails. I might not have him on the spreadsheet list because when I started running through like a chainsaw and getting all the PNGs done, and then I kind of fell behind on the spreadsheet. So I gotta get the spreadsheet updated, and then listed all of what I've got done, and then I'll be able to then go into the community page, and then make sure that everything's written down with everything that you guys have written down. And I'm trying not to forget anybody. It'd be nice to have a fully encompassed list of everybody who streamed either at TPC or at 1776. Yeah, spreadsheets. Those are my fun stuff. I mean, I can't get away from spreadsheets. The only thing that is kind of better than spreadsheets is something called Notebook for Zoho.com. And I use that because it actually integrates well with my iPhone, mobile devices, and in between computers. Because when I'm trying to get something organized, I like it really organized to where everything is actually within fingertips reach. I don't understand how some people, like in my old job, how they operated with not having things in spreadsheets, just either running off their email, and then whenever you look at their computer, they have like Chrome or Internet Explorer with like 50 tabs open, and they're like, that's how I organize things. I just have everything open. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you do that. I get bogged down with just, when I have like 10 tabs open. But some people, I guess they have just, a different type of brain. They can get that done. Amber, the critters too, because like I'll show you if we go back to the my account, we'll go back to the one that I created. Remember the alignment chart? And so you can actually write, you can rate them. I changed them. I put in these axes as you need to watch and entertaining. So obviously, if they're not entertaining and you don't want to watch them, if they're critters or something like that, then you can rate them down here in the bottom, right? And then rate the best ones up here on the top, right? So your best, your best people will be up here, and then obviously the critters, I would think that they would be down here. Although the critters have been kind of redeeming themselves one by one, and from what I've seen is, I think I saw Freedom Squirrel and Red Squirrel on somebody's stream the other night, and they're really trying to turn over a new leaf, I think. But we have to be careful though, because remember, AP was like the same thing. She did that one video about the World Trade Center, and you saw her, a different side of her, and she was all emotional and down to earth, and everybody thought, oh, there's the real AP, maybe she's changed. No, she didn't change. She went right back to the crazy person that she always is. So, and she got even worse after that.
if you see, if that's great, Amber. If you don't know how to add it, you can write down on my community page on YouTube and you know, edit it. If you go to my channel, Republic Road Real. Oh, I know. I mean, but then again, you know, just like Santa is a forgiving man, you know, sometimes we have to be forgiving as well, because we've been telling them over and over again, it does no good for us to fight with each other, and because we're all trying to accomplish the same thing, and we have love for our country. That's one of the few commonalities that we've had, even with AP. You know, so she says she loves her city. It's like, okay, fine. Well, we're not trying to destroy your city. We're trying to help our country. And a lot of the elements that are tearing us down is what's causing your problems as well. But you're right. And and you know, it'd take a lot for me to trust the critters as well. So, yeah, you can go on my community page. Not all streamers have this. The community page, you have to meet certain levels. Actually, you know, I met mine pretty early because I already had a bunch of hours viewed, and so I've got a community page. I think it's like, you got to meet, it's like 100 hours of viewing time before you'll get a community tab. So just a couple of pointers. I know, just like Santa. I mean, Jesus is forgiving, yeah. But I brought up Santa is because Santa has forgiven so many people, and it's just time and time again Santa has forgiven people, even though they stab him in the back. So yeah, you don't have to trust the critters. I'm not saying that. But I just thought I'd do this because it seems like a fun thing to do, fun thing that we can do together. And when we finally get this up and running, then we can, you know, when you rate the people, and then you can share it. You can share it on Facebook. You can print it out, and then yeah, you can download it. I found this years ago. It's quite fun. So do we see what streamers you already have out there? Well, so far I only have 2, and pretty soon I'll have more. I had like a whole bunch of them. I've got all the well, I had the thumbnails, and then they wouldn't upload. I think that was a thing that was clogging me up this morning, is because I was trying to get it saved and submitted. I had 40 live streamers in there, all their pictures, and it wouldn't submit. And I was like, what the hell? And then I looked into the instructions on Tiermaker, and it says, well, probably it's not uploading because of the file format or the size. It's like, okay. So I started creating them individually using photo and paint, and that's a lot of work, I tell you. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. It's just so much work to just try to get the nuts and bolts and get all these pictures in and get them listed. So I'll get it done. I am more like I've always said, I'm more like a freight train. I'm capable of a lot of work. But what happens is you got to get all my cars lined up. You got to get them all up in a row. You got to get them connected. And then the engine starts moving. And it doesn't start up immediately like a sports car. It takes a long time. But once we get going, then that freight train starts moving. And that's the way I am. Getting all my cars in a row. Getting them hooked up. And now we're moving. I know, right? Miss Wizzy. I mean, he's an example of what like somebody said earlier is, well, I don't really know why Wizzy stopped, and I don't think anybody knows the full story. I don't think we ever will. But from what my take on it was, is every time I see him frustrated, is it's somebody has said something that's really, I mean, it really gets him. I mean, some people are like, they can handle so much criticism. Like me, you can criticize me all day, but sometimes they say some things about me that it just tears me down to the point where I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll just quit then, and I'll leave. And somebody got him with something. They said something while he was on the air, and and it just was like the last straw, because it's been happening time and time again. The critters set him up. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. But yeah, I mean, they're really good at stabbing people in the back and making them look bad. So yeah, trust them? I don't know. But just be careful when you're dealing with them. That's the thing, Republic Road Real. I don't know how it got set up. That's interesting, Amber. Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good to hear you guys. Hear you guys. It's good to talk to you guys and talk about this stuff, because this is always what I envisioned is a way to actually spread information and keep people together and keep people moving forward, on a common ground. I know, right? To give up such a large following is pretty odd, especially when he was talking that night over and over again about how the pandemic pretty much made him lose his job, and that's why he, as well as a lot of people, followed the TPC or joined the TPC, because this is what happened when we were out with pandemic, and people like us were like, how do we, what do we do? We're being sidelined. We're being our country's not our country, but we know that our individual livelihoods are being threatened, if not just by the nation being shut down. We're being threatened by mandates and requirements that we're not going to budge on. And I wasn't going to budge on my requirements. I spent that whole, was it December, January, and February fearing for my job. And when the Canadian convoy, went to bat for Canadians, I was watching them and watching what they were doing, because mainstream media had their eye on them. And then when I'd heard about the TPC, and I didn't think it was going to take off, because I saw what it was. I saw where they were gathering, and I did the math in my head, and I thought, well, that's way out in the boonies, up in Adelanto. And I was like, why would they be up there in Victorville starting off? Why wouldn't they start here in LA? Why would they start out there? Why wouldn't they go to Vegas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And the math in my head says, well, it's just a small group. It's not going to be a big deal. So I didn't even bother to go that day. Plus, I was still afraid for my job. And actually, a friend of mine at work, him and his wife, they said, hey, we heard about the convoy, we're going up there. And I was like, remember, there was like 2 or 3 convoys at the time. There was like the American Freedom Convoy, there was another one coming down from the north, like supposedly that one group went up there and met the convoy in Canada, and then they headed down. And I was like, is this the same one that you were talking about that's leaving Atlanta? And he says yes. And I was like, gosh, I wish I could go with you. He goes, come on. He goes, I got a seat in the car waiting for you. And I was like, I can't go. I'm working a job here, you know, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be leaving this job here soon. So I really can't take off from work today. And I kind of wish I did. So I had full knowledge but just not the ability to actually go out and do it. So back to the original thing that brought this up. Wizzy is the one, he actually lost his job because of the pandemic. So that's why his path was clear. His path was kind of set, and he had the knowledge and the experience and the equipment to actually do a good job. He's probably one of the best streamers we've got, if not the best. So yeah, and that's why he's probably up there, right up the top, WYSIWYG. So yeah, to give up such a large following is pretty odd, because that's what, you know, he doesn't. I don't know if he's got a job wherever he's at in Hagerstown, but you know, it's kind of odd to give up the live streaming, because live streaming is like one of the easiest things to do. Just like a lot of the other streamers said, making videos is hard. You know, my videos that I've made with all of your, you know, the success that you guys have had and you've enjoyed them, they're a ton of work. And it's not that I don't like the work, but it takes a lot of inspiration in order to actually get an idea, and then you have to actually get down there and do it, and that takes hours. I think one of those took me 2 days of actually working on it, and then finally, and even in the end, I think, gosh, probably could have polished it here and you know, edited the videos here, got better footage over here. I don't have the great footage that all those other streamers do, like Oreo Express and First Responders and WYSIWYG. Critters just continued to meddle, huh? Something happened the other night. Obviously, you guys have heard about it. And I saw that one, 30-second video. What was it? Of, the cops coming to their house, and they mentioned that they said, you might catch him at the hotel. Seems like everybody heard about that, and everybody knew about it. I didn't know about it. But I guess Defender of Ants was out. And was he there? He went to their house and showed up in like a furry costume and showed up in their yard. Man, and it brings me back to what the squirrels did that one time with Oreo, right? They traveled all the way across the United States at great expense, because gas was at an all-time high, and they show up at Oreo's house just to drive by. They didn't even have the balls to go up and knock on the door. and he got him on, his ring got him on their car. That was their car, all right. I mean, that's what's totally nuts. It's like, who does that? Yeah, Defender of Ants showed up at Jalen and Matt's house. It's just nuts. Who does that? The critters do it. Yeah, so for the few of you who don't know, that's what happened this weekend. I think it happened like on Christmas Day or Christmas night. Yeah, Julius, it was nuts. Arrested all unjustly, expressing my First Amendment. Yeah, Republic Road Real. It's kind of what Santa was talking about. It was either this morning or yesterday morning. You know, patriots are, for all of our, I mean, we're law-abiding citizens. We're raised that way, and so there's a lot of us who we don't want to go and get arrested. We got families, we've got jobs. One thing I mentioned a long time ago when I was over at 1776 in Bunker Hill is that everybody there is established, okay? They've either held a successful military career or they've worked a trade their entire lives, or they've owned a successful business, and most of them have their own houses and paid for. So they got a lot to lose. And they're out there. But because of their success throughout their lives, they're able to spend their time and their resources to protest an unfair government. Okay? So they're willing to actually do this and do the work. But a lot of people aren't at that stage. Like, I certainly am not able to. I could only spare a couple of weeks to go up there and actually meet them. And a lot of people even, I'm probably even one of the minority who can actually go out there and do that. So it is a big ask to ask people to actually go out there and protest for your First Amendment rights. Holding a camera qualifies arrests, so live streaming is risky. It requires a ton of faith. Well, I don't know about that, Republic Road Real. I mean, we've got a right to photograph people in public. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, maybe in DC, but if you're in public, you got a right to carry a camera and film people. There's nothing illegal about that, and don't let the DC police tell you any different. Although we all know that DC is not part of America. It's not part of the United States. I don't know what it is. I've always talked about that with my friends. Or it's like, what the heck is DC? It's not a Puerto Rico. It's not a territory. It's not an Indian reservation. It just is. And I learned in school that in DC, the crimes are actually, and if you commit a crime in DC, you're actually tried by the Supreme Court. I don't know if it's like that nowadays, because it seems like when everybody's in trouble there, they end up in DC jail, and they end up before some rinky-dink judge, like what happened to Santa and Big D. Yeah, thanks, Republic Road Real. I don't know, what's going on in DC. You're right. You don't want to get stuck in DC, and you don't want to get arrested, because the whole place is just it's just, how would you say, just above reproach. It's corrupt. I saw that. I was watching that, Amber, that Joe was threatened with arrest by, I think it was CBP or Homeland Security. They called him by his first name and said, you can be arrested. And it was so ludicrous. He's an American citizen. And they're threatening him with arrest. What about all of these immigrants walking back and forth across the Rio Grande in the Mexico side and the U.S. side? Are they getting threatened with arrest? No. But he gets threatened with arrest. An American citizen who crossed into Mexico legally. That was ridiculous. Yeah, Amber. I saw that, and it angered my blood. And it just showed the hypocrisy. And I loved, and I wanted to, I didn't mean to get everybody angry here, but I wanted to spin up some of the screenshots that I saw of first responders, and then also some of what's that other guy, Anthony Aguero live. I recommend watching him too, but don't mention each other's streams when you're on another when you're watching another streamer live. That they don't like that, because not all of them get along. I'm not going to pick apart what's going on, but just if you're watching Anthony Aguero live, just be respectful and don't mention any other streamers. And the same with Oreo and first responders. I mean, the only ones you could probably talk about interchangeably is Oreo and Taco Joe. That's probably about it. Everybody else, don't mention other streamers on there. Me, you can mention streamers on my stream all day long. You can edit your own video of other channels with permission. I'm gonna look into that, Republic Road Reel, because I'd like to do some restreaming, just like Tommy Temper does, like Fry TV does, and I'd like to be in here with the microphone and talking and ranting and and pointing fingers at what's going on there. Did you see that? Did you see that? This is crazy. See, I don't know, and I'm not going to get into that Republic Road Reel because I don't know what went on between them. I can tell you this much, is that they were together. They were down in, I think it was Yuma. They're down in Yuma, and the next day Joe was back in California and Bakersfield, and he was streaming that night. And none of them, mentioned each other after that. I don't know. Not to stir up drama, but I did watch I was watching Anthony Aguero's live one time, and then he was like, blah blah blah, and they got a lot of people down here, all these bozos out streaming, and I'm like, and then somebody said, bozo? What do you mean? Do you mean Taco Joe? And I was like, that's what he's calling them, bozos. Oh man. But I mean, he's got it right. If anybody's got a right to call somebody anything, it's the person who's actually down there doing the work. And he mentioned that last night. I'm not defending Anthony Aguero or standing up for Joe, but I like what I like to hear. And Anthony, he was like, he goes, you got to get off your ass, get off the couch, and get down here, and you can be down here and streaming and recording it with your own eyes and your own camera, And then I was like, that's true, If you can sit there complaining, and you can say nobody's doing anything, but if you got the time, you got the means to get down there and help spread what's going on, you'd be doing everybody in this country a service, a great service. But yeah, that's what happened past couple of days. Let me go on about that and rant about that. So we've seen, the hypocrisy of what happened. All the National Guard shows up at the border, and it looks like that that Governor Abbott has had has had enough, and he's fed up, and he's closing the gaps in the border. So all about, and everybody is like, yeah, and I even screenshotted that stuff, and I sent out the links to my stream. And then all day long, everybody was like, yeah, they're finally putting up a stand against all of this this World Economic Forum's basically assault on Americans and other first world countries as well. It's not just America that's happening. Keep me honest. I think this is happening in like Italy, Germany, and in the UK too, where they're forcing those countries to open their borders to immigration from other countries that have, through corruption, have allowed their economies to be destroyed. So you have all these people immigrating into countries who don't have the jobs for their own people, us included. We don't have enough jobs for our young people and our unskilled people in the world, and even skilled people are having a hard time finding work. But they're doing the same thing to those first world countries in Europe, and so it's not just the United States. But getting off track here. My point is that that Governor Abbott was making a stand, and then all of a sudden, Homeland Security comes in and tells them, "Oh, if you just go a quarter mile down the road, you'll be let in through the gate." And then the whole herd of people stampedes down there, and they let them in. So all those 400 National Guard people down there at the border, that was just a photo op. Never really meant to do anything or stop anybody. Just to make things look good. And Taco Joe's been doing a good job of exposing that and showing what's actually going on. So yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. I tried to smear Joe's name. That's not cool. I mean, Anthony probably, I don't know. Who knows what the real story, what happened between those people, Because they were there together. They were there. They were there as a team, and all suddenly they're not. What do you do? I know, right? I have not met them yet, but that's good that. Yeah. Anywho, I've been on for 48 minutes. I'll stay on for another 15 or a couple. I don't know. I wanted to get that footage, but I didn't. It's on my other computer. Didn't have time to transfer it over. I've gone over the game, the Tiermaker game. Gone over the Tiermaker game. We talked about Wizzy. You guys were talking about Wizzy, and we talked about Joe. All I can say is for now is that everybody's healthy and looking good. So I'm glad to actually, we're ending the year with everybody healthy and doing their thing. That's too bad, Amber, because I was watching Anthony last night, and he's doing some really good coverage out there, actually talking to the people and showing showing what's going on out there in the streets. And I've been down to Skid Row. I had an ex-girlfriend. She wanted me to take her down there, and I was like, "You're crazy." He's like, "Okay, well, I was being adventurous that day, so we went down there." And I actually took footage of it and I can't find it. I don't know where that is. And I wanted to find that and show everybody. It's like, this is what actual Skid Row looks like. And this is what actually, this is a street in West LA, what it looks like. It's like the same thing. And then, from what they showed in El Paso,
Skid Row is looking a lot like what those streets in El Paso look like, and that's what Anthony Aguero said. He's like, this is unreal what it looks like now versus a month ago. It's destroying the city. It's destroying our country. So I don't know where Anthony is today. I mean, he was in El Paso yesterday evening. I don't know where Taco Joe is today, because if they weren't streaming today, if they were streaming today, I probably wouldn't be streaming right now.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, check us out on YouTube too. Come over to YouTube and give us a sub. Here, I'll drop a link here.
Oh,
My YouTube channel. Stand by. Oh, we lost Agnes.
that's weird. Let's see if we can get some more subs.
Still have Brett in there. Or not Brett.
Hello.
Red Squirrel.
Hang on. Yeah, look, Tommy Temper's talking about Red Squirrel again.
Good. Yeah, we try. Especially with the pronunciation on different names and words.
That's true. I remember, and those three have mentioned that.
And I went in here but
I know.
feed froze up or something.
That Oreo, first responders, and WYSIWYG helped a lot of live streamers get up and running. Nice. See, Taco Joe is in Juarez, Mexico, old Mexico. Is Oreo with him? Let's see. Although WYSIWYG's been pretty adamant about him being the only professional one, and there's a lot of jealousy. I sense a lot of jealousy between him and the other streamers. Probably I would say, although I've never met him, the only one who's like really, really seems genuine and helps people out is the first responders, Taco Joe. Taco Joe's helped out a bunch of people, and he's actually said, probably to his dismay, he's helped these people out. One guy who wasn't helped out by Taco Joe and Oreo was old X-Ray, and the G's helped him out. I remember that night when they first showed him on there. So they got him up and running. He's a good guy. I never met X-Ray. I met Oreo, WYSIWYG, Glory B, Sparrow. Anthony only had 1,000 subs when he met Joe. so Joe really helped him. Well, the thing is he may have had 1,000 subs, but he's got like 5,000 something. And that's a lot of hard work to get from 1,000 to 5,000. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't even been to 5,000. That's right, Teresa. That's one thing to remember is that Anthony's lost his channel a couple of times. So every time he gets loses his channel, he has to start it up again. Again, as I said before in my other stream, that's why everybody needs to move off of YouTube. We need to get on Rumble. We need to get on Getter and keep in touch on Truth Social. Joe's got 30,000. That's awesome. Yeah. Anthony for 6 years. Oh, nice. Yeah, see, those guys do a lot of work. I mean, and you can tell because they have that investigative style because they go out there and actually talk to people, which is tough. So. I heard something about that. Rumble has no moderators.
But then again, somebody was talking the other day on a live stream. They said there's a solution to that. And I couldn't remember what.
But she's out doing.
Yeah.
Doing mission. Send the money back.
Oy.
The heck's going on? Why is it clicking something? It's giving me. See, it's constantly giving me like error messages and notifications. It's like, why not receiving enough video to maintain truths? See where it's like, well, why do I need to open the widget? I can't do anything about it. The only thing it's like, thank you for notifying me. There's nothing I can do about it.
Huh. Looks like a Juicy J and Red Squirrel are on Tommy Temper.
I'm not subscribed to Red Squirrel or Freedom Squirrel, so I don't know when they're live. I'm not subscribed to any of those people. Amber Rose, how do you like Florida better than Cali? There's a lot of advantages to Florida. Where I live, it's quiet. Thing about Cali, there's a lot of things to do. There's basically everything there that you could want. And it's not like that here in Florida, but there's a lot of things that you have here that aren't in California. So yeah, I'm much happier down here. It's much Florida is definitely the place for me. Oh, I did not see that Wyckoff's last night got in a fist fight with Red Squirrel in Florida.
I can hear him talking in I can see him talking in Tommy Temper's stream.
So when I click off here, you guys should all go over to Tommy Temper's and watch his, and you can find a lot more of the stuff. I don't know when Taco Joe's coming back. I don't know when Anthony Aguero's talking back. And then somebody was on last night. I think it was Telescope was in the chat on Tommy Temper, and he's all claiming I don't like AP and I don't like so and so. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hearsay. I don't really know. A lot of the stuff we say is hearsay. Somebody told me, I think it was Trucker G, he said, it was a good way to put it. Says, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see, because you don't know what happened before you got there. And that was a good quote.
Yeah, I'm those guys and see.
Only because I want to see what's going on. I've got some time today, and after I do my projects this afternoon, I'll get to work on this game, and then we'll have it up and running. Maybe I'll have it up and running for you guys by tomorrow, and then we can do another live stream and actually play it. I'll rate it, and then you guys can play it. You can rate it too, and we can have some laughs. I'm also doing a lot of people are coming out with highlight reels and documentaries. Even Mags is putting together his mag book, and it sounds all that stuff's going to be great. And I'm doing a version of that, if you could say. It's a kind of a timeline, and it's going to have all links to videos of notable events. And if you want to go through the TPC and look at these things, and you just click on these, and then you'll be in the actual video where you can watch it again, or if you remember there was somebody that you wanted to see, or some kind of event that happened, and then this will help you out and help you figure it out. I was working on that a couple of months ago, and it was pretty far along. Once I had a list of all the live streamers that went up on the columns on my spreadsheet. I don't know, maybe I have it. Let's see if I've still got it on here. I'll show you guys. Yeah, I don't know where I saved that thing. It was on a spreadsheet.
Market data connection lost.
Maybe it was in
Trading connection lost. Market data connection re-established.
YouTube
Market data
7076
connection
videos.
lost.
Yes, so it's through. It is in the
Market data
Dropbox.
connection lost.
In the
Trading
drop.
connection re-established.
Shut up.
Market data connection re-established.
Okay, Dropbox. Yes. Okay, I'll show this to you guys. So yeah, see, March 1st, today with Julius had a video on March 1st, March 11th. No, I don't know anything. Okay. The rally at Berkeley Springs, that was Nebraska Patriot had that. See how I've got like a big gap between March and June, and that's when a lot of the stuff happened. This is when everything, that's with TPC, right? March 1st through March 1st through June 30th, right? That was the TPC, and then from then on was, or I'm sorry, March 1st through, I don't know, June 1st was when TPC was going on, and then 1776 was going on, and there was all the craziness that happened. X-Ray's truck was recovered. Santa had to turn himself in. X-Ray's truck was towed. Blah, blah, blah. Day 7, day 8, right? They spent 34 days on the White House National Park. Yeah, right? Saznak. And I haven't heard of Saznak lately either. Be nice to hear from him. Every once in a while you'll see Fry TV. Every once in a while I see Fry TV in the chat, like in either Tommy Temper's chat, and I see him in a couple other people, like I think he's in Polish Agnes's chat and things like that. And he'll show up he's been so busy too. He's busy with his projects, and he's, you know, and I comment on his Facebook and things like that, and he answers his Facebook, but he's just so busy. Oh, I know, Amber. I've seen that. He's what they call it. He's putting together a school bus. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know Saznak was on a little bit ago. I haven't seen it. That'd be cool to watch. But yeah, see, so I'm putting together this too. It's just a rudimentary list. Oh, I didn't show you guys. I'm sorry. Duh. Don't you guys tell me I didn't have it on screen. Alright. Back to what I said earlier. Okay, so the ANC through March 1st. Blah, blah, blah. June 30th. That was the TPC. Obviously, I have a lot more
Information that I need to fill in there.
a lot more streamers. And then 1776 came on, and then they were getting ready, and then they convoyed into DC on July 5th. Early morning, convoy into DC, and then that day Santa got arrested. Blah, blah, blah. X-Ray's truck got towed. Man, those were dark times. Gotta tell ya. Big D turned himself in. Man, rough times. And then the stupid bike girl showed up.
Day 21, pineapple sunglasses. Man.
That's one thing, definitely thing I need to get. I need to get me some pineapple sunglasses. Nightly attacks continue. The white shirt cop dismisses the complaints. AP came and screamed. Frankie's water pump broke, and Captain Sparrow was there too. Scooter problems. Whistling and yelling. Yelling from critters at night. Ants screaming, leaving the mall. Day 31 was a quiet day. Walked to Capitol. That was the day Run happened. Day 33. Undisclosed location, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So. And that's not meant. This is not meant to like look for things to get people in trouble. It's meant for reminiscing. So it's not meant for finger pointing and causing drama. So well, Spectre Productions, my email is on my about page and my channel. So if you want to send that to me on my email, that'll work. Yeah. Oh. Okay, we're looking at almost 2 o'clock here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down and let everybody get back to their day. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being good to each other. We didn't have any drama, and mods didn't have to throw anybody out. So that's it. I don't have a tagline yet. I'm trying to figure one out. You know, like Wizzy out. You know, something like that. I'll figure something out soon. So that's it for today. Everybody, you have a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.